Hey, Patty, you know what time it is?
I do.
It's time for another Midweek Update! You know, we've been doing that now for is it almost 4 years? 3 years?
A long time.
We've been doing this a long time.
And this week we're on time.
We are on time. Last week we had some technical difficulties, as in we just forgot. We were busy last week, but you guys heard about that in last week's episode.
So we're on time.
Yeah, we're on time this week. So Bessie's playing with her new best friend.
Oh my gosh.
Little penguin. The kiddos got an early Christmas gift from us. We found these on Amazon.
She loves little toys you get out of something.
Yeah, so.
And there's 3 little penguins in there.
Truman, he's like, yeah.
He'll play with them for a little bit, but she will go after. Mark probably knows, and Karen, that this summer we got the little, a hot chocolate mug, and it has some marshmallows in it. She goes nuts, and she runs around with that marshmallow in her face or whatever. So this is a new flavor of the month.
Yep. So anyway, well, hopefully everybody had a really nice weekend. We are slowly counting down the weekends here in December. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's quickly coming, isn't it?
Yeah. So we didn't really do much. We did, but we didn't. We spent Saturday working on the trailer. Yep. You, I guess, were working on packing and cleaning the trailer.
I really did a good deep clean of that thing.
Yep.
It needed it.
And I ended up doing some maintenance work. I ended up greasing the axles or the bearings, and I fixed our camera, rear view camera.
Right.
And I greased the slide out.
Right.
It was just lots of stuff like that.
Well, and did you find out over the weekend that the sail switch needed switched?
Yeah, so I went out on Saturday morning and realized the furnace wasn't running. And we kind of had issues with that sail switch. My friend Randy worked on it back in the spring, and it seemed to work. But you don't run the furnace a lot in the summer when you're in the south.
When it's hot.
So, so it wasn't kicking on. So the thing is, on a propane furnace, I probably should do a video on this. There's very few things that typically will cause it not to work. One, obviously, is if you're out of propane or you have air in the lines, So the first thing I did was I thought maybe there's air in the lines. I knew I had propane because we have our Mopica sensors that said we have plenty of propane. I turned on the hot water heater and it instantly lit on propane. So I was like, okay, no air in the lines. So it made me think it was the sail switch. So I went out and disconnected the sail switch, had it laying there, went back in, turned it on, came out, and I manually kind of flipped it so the sail switch would come to the on position, and instantly it fired up. So that's how I knew it was that. So I ordered it, it came in, and I put that on Monday, and immediately it fired up. So it's one of those things where it almost makes sense possibly to carry an extra. I should have ordered 2. Now, the other thing that sometimes goes bad on it, there's a limit switch, which is a little device, 2 wires you plug in. I did order one of those. We're going to carry a backup limit switch. But usually it's one of those 2 things that typically you find. So we're back up and running because we definitely are going to need the furnace on this trip.
Right, definitely on the way down, probably on the way back.
Yeah.
Maybe not there at all.
Yeah. In Florida, if we need heat, we'll probably just use the little electric heater there. But
it's usually on the way down and on the way back.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so we're good. Whoop.
Yeah, so we did that, and then I worked on the truck because we're going to take the e-bikes with us, and we can't have the tonneau on, so I had to figure out a way to, 1, secure them, 2, cover them to keep them somewhat dry.
Yeah,
and then
put your other stuff in.
Put the other stuff in, and so the truck is literally ready to go. It's loaded.
Ready to go. Tex is like, let's go.
So I said to Patty, do you care if I take you to work on days I have to go to campus because I don't want to drive the truck? Like, I didn't want to have to. I loaded it as a test, but it's loaded so well. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's like, I just don't want to undo this and have to redo it.
So I've been chauffeured. Yeah. Which is okay.
So that was our weekend. Now, we do have this upcoming weekend. We're not going camping because we're actually going to have, we're going to have Patty's parents over since we won't be home for Christmas. We usually get together with them ahead of time and do some dinner and
finish up the camper.
Yeah, and actually need to finish it up because then the following Friday, you'll get a midweek update for that week. But, so that's...
Right, that's what's going on, yeah.
Yeah, just crazy that we're counting down.
And it's gotten cold here.
It has.
But next week, you look ahead of the forecast, it's going to be up in lower 60s.
Right.
Isn't that nuts?
It's like a yo-yo.
It is cuckoo around here.
But we're used to it.
That's usually what happens. And we had a little bit of, I don't know if you even call them flakes, but It kind of looked like we were in a little light snow globe today, and my 5th graders were going cuckoo, and they're like, "Are we going to get enough snow to play?" And I said, "Probably not. Look at that snow. It's not even sticking, but it was cold enough to snow a little bit. But it's nuts. Roller coaster around here. That's why people are sick, and yeah."
So one of the things I have to do this weekend is I need to get the tractor ready to snowplow. Yeah. I had ordered, we were having an issue. I don't even remember if I mentioned this. I had put new tires on last spring, and apparently the rims were bad because I'd had them up there twice. They would not hold air. Then one of the back tires was bad. So I ended up ordering I just went ahead and ordered 4 new tires on Amazon with rims, everything. Put the back ones on, no problem. Went to put the front ones on, and the spindles were shot. I couldn't even get the new tires on. So I didn't feel like trying to change out the spindles myself. So I had it up to where we bought it. They did what they needed to do. They replaced both sides and worked on it. So we have the new tires on. So I went up today, picked it up. I've got it here. So the only thing I have left to do now is get the blade on, get the chains on, and then we'll be ready. So I don't think I'm going to have to plow before we leave.
No,
but
usually it's February.
I would say it's going to be late January, early February, typically.
What happens, yeah.
Yeah. What's typical?
And I always say, get those chains on, because once he gets it set up, I'm like, we won't get snow now because you have it all set up.
Patty always thinks I'm gonna. I wish. I mean,
because people around here, we put up the driveway stakes, so you can plow, or the parking lot they put stakes. I'm like, they're all put up around here. We're not gonna get any snow.
I think we're gonna get snow.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
Unfortunately, so.
I don't mind a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway. So that's literally how boring our lives are. I was actually thinking, again, boring. I don't know why people watch these because, there are times these are better, like when we're traveling and we let you know in real time where we are. So, but a few reminders though. Should start putting this out there. I need to put this out on Travels with Delaney. So, December 19th, we will have the final episode of our Summer of Sand tour, episode 24. And if you remember...
You thought maybe you might get a dozen?
I thought I might get 10 to 12 videos out of our summer travels.
24.
And part of the reason is I went to a new strategy of 10 to 12 minute videos versus those 20 to 25 minute videos. Because a lot of you had said, you'd watch them, but it was a long time. And I agree. So we ended up getting that. So December 19th will be episode 24, the one where we... stop and see our friends Todd and Carla, and then we bring it on home.
Yep.
And then we're taking a break on Travels with Delaney.
Yep.
So we will not be back on air, as they say in the biz, until I want to say like January. I don't know what 9th. Is that a Sunday?
Okay, so the 3rd is a Monday. You're probably close.
Something along that line. So we just don't want anybody freaking out like, oh my gosh, we did this last year. I think it's good for
a break.
It's good for a break. And then number 2 is I actually think it helps with the algorithm for some reason.
Kind of resets
and
it maybe.
Other than you guys, the maybe 300 of you that watch these videos that probably watch the videos on Travels with Delaney, I think people, we do this. Sometimes you just get tired of watching the same channel over and over. But then when they're gone for a couple weeks, it's almost like you're excited to see them again.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to take a break there. I don't know if we're going to take a break here. We may still give you some midweek updates during those 2 weeks because these are a lot easier to put out. But just didn't want anybody freaking, why is nothing being posted on Travels with Delaney?
Just taking a break.
Yeah. And then finally, I wanted to mention this will not affect probably 95% of you, maybe all of you, I don't know. But I did launch a 3rd channel on December 7th.
This week, yeah.
Was that yesterday? I think so.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah. I figured I'd always remember that day because it was Pearl Harbor Day. And so the 3rd channel is really for people who have channels. And I'm just going to try to share how we've grown our channel to 36,000.
Kind of like the ins and outs.
The ins and outs and sharing to help. I've been helping out a couple smaller channels. I say smaller in relationship to us because I don't really feel like I could help out a channel that's 20,000 subscribers so this channel is going to be designed specifically for under 10,000 subscribers, and a lot of people I think will probably be under 1,000 because that's always a struggle. How do you get to 1,000? And I'm just going to make videos to share what I've learned, and so maybe people can avoid the mistakes I've made. And so anyway, like I said, for most of you, you would not be interested in that content. But if you are a YouTube channel and you're trying to create, maybe you're frustrated, you're not growing as fast as you want, maybe I have some insights that would be of use. And so I don't even know if you can find the channel, I'll be honest, because that's the problem with YouTube. When you first start out, you can't even find new channels.
It's hard, yeah.
It is hard. But the channel name, I went a little different. Originally, I had reserved the name Professor YouTube. Can't believe nobody had that. Yeah. But the more I thought about it, it sounded kind of corny.
Kind of goofy.
Yeah. And I want, this could potentially, again, because of my teaching background.
Turn into a business
yeah.
for you.
So it's actually under Patrick McCormick Digital Media, which kind of sounds a little more professional.
Grown up.
I was going to do Patrick McCormick Digital Media Group, but group implies there's more than one of me.
True.
And when you have no subscribers, you can't afford to hire people.
True.
So we do have 2 subscribers as of the filming right now.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive.
There you go.
Yeah, how about that? In one day, we picked up 2 subscribers. I have to be honest, it's a little intimidating. Because when we started this channel, I just blasted this out on Travels with Delaney, and literally people came over pretty quickly. Like we were at 100 within a couple days. The problem is, if I blast this out on Travels with Delaney, most people at Travels with Delaney, kind of like on this channel, you're not content creators, so it wouldn't be something you'd want to watch, and I get that. So this is like literally, I feel like, I don't know, it's overwhelming a little bit, and I'm scared because I want to make good content to help people out, but I think
you'll do fine.
I think we'll do fine.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm coming up with the time now to run a 3rd channel.
That's what I was wondering.
So.
And your TikToks.
Yeah, well, TikTok, TikTok is nothing more, as I say, than free therapy for me. All I've been doing on TikTok for the most part is when somebody leaves me a rude or nasty comment, it allows me to go over there and share it.
Content.
Share it, yep, and do a little sarcastic humor.
Yeah.
So, poor Steven was my latest target.
Yeah, he deserved it.
He
brought that on himself.
Now watch. Now I hope this doesn't end up being like Jennifer, who then I felt horrible about. But Steven,
it was written. Steven.
Yeah, Steven, if you're listening to this and you're like, that's not what I meant, I'm sorry. That was the only way I could read it.
That's the way we read it.
If you call me a Karen, which first of all is very insulting to our friend Karen. That's right. It's very insulting to our good friend Karen.
Yeah.
But you call me a Karen, you tell me to get real, that it's Disney, and we should have got over it. I'm sorry, when I'm spending $150 a day per person.
My wristband doesn't get me in the park.
Yeah. And I had been to the front desk the day before to verify.
And we had to stand in a line that was hot for I don't know how long.
Right.
It was 1,000,000 degrees. Yeah.
So if that makes us Steven. A Karen for being, whiny, so be it. Because there's just, and it's so funny because, like I will get comments like when we did the video about all the issues on our trailer, I got these people who are like, oh, you just gloss over things. You make everything seem so rosy. Now I'm a Karen though, because I complained about, so. The one thing I have learned about YouTube, you can't win for losing. Like it doesn't matter.
Nope.
You're never going to please everybody.
Yep.
And quite frankly, I'm down to if I can please the rest of you here.
Yep.
That because again, anybody who watches this, you only watch this because you're just like, we kind of like you. Because otherwise, nobody would watch this garble. So
no, it's garbly goo.
Yeah. And we are so thankful for you that you watch the garbly goo, as Patty calls it, because we really do feel like all of you that watch these are just our friends.
Just good friends. Yeah.
Anyway, anywho's. So, all right.
We're giddy.
I was thinking, this is going to be like a 6-minute update. We do this every week. Yeah, we're going to wrap this up. Everybody, have a safe weekend. And until next week, we'll see ya.
On down the road.
Cue the outro.
Travels with Delaney. We'll see you on down the road.